All right, all right. Dun, 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 dun. What do you do,
Dun, dun, dun,
everybody?
dun, dun.
What do you do, everybody? Welcome to Bear Down Breakdown, week
Dun, 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 dun,
13.
dun.
I think it's week
Week
13. I'm pretty
13.
sure it's week 13.
Something
Lost
like
count
that.
after like the fourth loss
Yeah.
for the Bears. Let's see here.
Oh, man.
Whew.
Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford was lighting them up.
MVP. Matthew Stafford.
MVP.
Not an
Matthew
MVP.
Stafford. No, he's not. I'll take him, though.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Ooh. You sneezed all the COVID out.
I'm allergic to bad. I'm allergic to bad football teams. Excuse me.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome everyone to Deep Dishin Sports Bear Down Breakdown Week 13. Yeah, we're gonna talk some Bears today.
Yeah.
I haven't.
We're
Go ahead.
No, I was about to say we're mourning right now.
Yeah.
Hence why we dressed in all black.
Yeah.
Funeral bear down breakdown right now. Because
yeah, it's
football team.
It's been a minute since we had a Bear Down. It's been a minute since we've been on the mics. Took a couple weeks.
Well,
a break, and it's been a minute since we had a Bear Down Breakdown. It's been 2 weeks, and because we had the bye week,
we didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I mean, well, same shit, different toilet. We had the bye week, and then got just demolished by the Packers,
right?
And we were like, but we're not. Why even dedicate an episode to the Bears after that performance?
Right.
Good or bad. So, yeah, we took a couple weeks off. Much needed for us. But, we're back on the mics to talk about the Bears. And I don't know how much of this game individually we're going to talk about, because at this point, like we've said a couple weeks ago on our last Bear Down Breakdown, at this point, it's just bigger picture.
Yeah.
It's bigger picture. It's
yep.
We know the season's lost. We know for pretty much for sure that Matt Nagy is no longer going to be the head coach after this year. I want to say that I'm, positive that Ryan Pace is no longer going to be the GM, but I can't really say that.
Yeah.
I don't know how the McCaskies feel about Ryan Pace at this point. And we also talked about Ted Phillips in the last episode. And before we get into all this, I just want to say, make sure you guys are following us on our social medias at Deep Dishin Pod on Twitter, at Deep Dishin Sports on Instagram. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. We try to put out content weekly. We failed last week, but we got two of us have families. We're not, single bachelor men that just have all this time to record podcasts and dedicate our entire lives to it. I wish we could, but we can't. But nevertheless, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell, so it lets you know whenever we upload a video, because our videos are pretty. I mean, I'm getting better at editing. I feel like they're
you really are.
They're pretty good.
They make me laugh.
They have some funny content in it.
Well, yeah.
But so make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss a beat. Anyway, let's move on to the Bears. Let's talk about this Bear squad.
Okay.
So let's quickly talk about this game.
All right.
This game against the Detroit Lions that everyone thought we had in the bag. It was a typical Mitchell Trubisky-led Bears game against the Lions. We were lighting it up on offense. We looked like a completely different offensive squad. against the Lions, even though coming into this game, both the head coach for the Lions, Matt Patricia, and their GM were fired.
Gone. Yeah.
McCaskey's.
Yeah.
Right. What y'all waiting on?
Hints.
Yeah, hint. But yeah, so we came into this game with what's his name? Interim head coach
Darrell
Bevell, right?
Bevell.
Darrell Bevell.
Yeah.
It's his first game, his debut as interim head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt pretty good going into this game, even though the Bears, as bad as the Bears have been playing, lost 5 games in a row, had a really bad loss to the Green Bay Packers off a bye week. Thought this was going to be a game that we could actually bounce back in. And it was looking that way for a while. And and then the Bears just they bear down is what technically they bear down and gave away the game.
Play on words.
Matthew Stafford threw for 402 yards.
Say it again. How many yards?
402 yards.
Okay, because I just thought, we had this great defense that, whatever. Okay, go ahead.
402 yards, guys. 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Pass rating of 109.4. It was only sacked twice.
Yep.
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky didn't play that bad of a game. He had 267 yards, a touchdown. The one bad thing in this game just happened to kind of put the game, seal it for the Lions, which was that sack fumble. There's guys, there's so much. If there is a game that is a microcosm of the Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace led Bears, it's this game. It just seems like, and I tweeted this out on the Deep Dishin Twitter as well, that it just seems like the Bears can never put together a full game. Can never put together a game in which their defense plays well, offense plays well, special teams play well.
Right.
It's either one or the other just F's it up for the entire team.
Yeah. That's a good point. When you think about it, when have we seen that complete game from the Bears?
Only one that I can remember off the top of my head was that Tampa Bay game that Mitch threw 6 touchdowns.
Right. Last year.
2 years ago.
Oh no, two years ago. Right.
That is the only one that I can, and maybe the Dallas game, that Monday Night Football game. I think it was last year, or maybe it was 2018. Where we wore those throwback uniforms, those 100th anniversary throwback uniforms. Maybe that was last year. I don't know. But yeah, there hasn't been. There's maybe been 2, maybe 2 complete games under Matt Nagy, and
none within the last 2 years though.
Yeah,
because we're going back to 2018 for those complete games that was played.
The first year under Matt Nagy, not a whole lot of people, had a lot of film on him and his offense and all that. So, yeah, it's kind of easy to have those breakout games when it's your first year. And, the years following that, it's how can you adjust? How can you, grow as an offense, grow your offense, know that that these teams have film on you and they pretty much know what you're going to do if you're not going to change anything. And we've seen that all season long and all last year offensively.
Yeah.
But this game was a microcosm of Matt Nagy because we were lighting it up on offense. David Montgomery had 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half. 11 carries for 62 yards or something like that in the first half for him. He was killing it. I have a stat. Give me 1 second. So, David Montgomery had 11 carries for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half. Okay. At that point, we were up, I believe, let me see. We were up 12 points, 11 points.
Right.
Second half, even though we were leading for most of that second half,
Right.
He only got the ball 6 times for 10 yards.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that vaunted Detroit defense really kicked it in high gear, and that vaunted defensive line of the Detroit Lions really said, okay, enough is enough, David Montgomery. We're going to stop you.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And yeah, it just seems like Matt Nagy just does not like to run the ball when he needs to run the ball or pass the ball when he needs to pass the ball. It's extremely frustrating, and it completely ruined a really good game plan by this offensive coaching staff.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we finally realized after 12 games that Cole Kmet is an actual weapon on this offense. He had 7 targets, 5 catches, 37 yards, a really nice play action touchdown to him. Showed off his speed. He ran over a couple dudes. Like, they actually called plays for him in week 13, guys.
Go figure.
It took this long.
Go figure. Yeah. Go figure.
But yeah, this game plan was brilliant offensively. Defense obviously stunk it up, but there were some coaching decisions down the line, and we're a broken record at this point in talking about these, but there were some coaching decisions, time management, play calling that just didn't make sense to me. Didn't make sense to me.
I mean, what else is new at this point? You know, it's just like you said, man, it's just one of those things where it's just time for everybody to go. And you've done a great job in just expressing that. And you said it. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And at what point, and I think you tweeted this from our either you tweeted or you just said this recently about just the decisions that need to be made for this club moving forward. Like, are we really gonna put the trust in this GM again? Are we gonna really put trust in this coach who just keeps proving to us that he doesn't learn from his mistakes? He doesn't learn from he doesn't adjust. Like, you saw the Lions actually adjust their defense in the second half. They said, you know what, we're gonna blitz Trubisky a lot, and we're just gonna see what decisions, and we just saw absolutely no counterattack from Matt Nagy, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Surprisingly, though, I do blame Matt Nagy for this game, for the simple fact that he, as much as he's the rah-rah guy, right? He's the
at this point, because he's no longer calling plays.
Team, and I'm gonna motivate my team, and and you just see the defense just you know what, dude, we're tired of you. We're tired of you. The last 2 weeks is the first time where I've seen the defense just give the middle finger to Matt Nagy, and they were just collectively, they was you know what, your offensive genius that you think you are, you've just put us in a hole too many times. Now we're going to show you what it's like to just have the pressure on you as an offense. And sadly, and they'll never admit that. The players will never admit that. You will never hear that from the players, but actions speak louder than words. And what you saw Sunday was just a defense that was just what you've seen the last 2 weeks is just a defense that's just tired, man. It's tired. I don't blame them. They've been carrying this team for 2 years, bro. 3 years. And it's just they're just at a point. It's so much separation within this organization right now that it's just best to clean house. Just let everybody go. And we're back to rebuilding.
To defense's credit, I think part of it is them just being tired out from the past 3 years. And I think also part of it is Chuck Pagano. Just he's, I don't know what's wrong with him. His creativity as a defensive coordinator just completely left him, I guess, when he became a head coach, because we talked about it when we hired him, all the stuff that he did in Baltimore with that defense that had Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and the one that won the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco. and how creative he was with that defense. That was an aging defense. That defense was getting old. Had some good talent on it, but it was getting old. So maybe that's why he was so creative. He felt like he had to. But at this point, it's like, yes, you have Khalil Mack. Yes, you have Eddie Jackson. Yes, you have Kyle Fuller, Akeem Hicks. But still, like, if you see you guys are not, like, the soft zone crap isn't working, dial up some pressure.
Yeah.
You got Roquan Smith, one of the fastest sideline to sideline linebackers in the league.
Yeah. For some reason, they just
blitzed him a couple times. He had 2 sacks.
Yeah.
In the first half of the season, and he looked like he was hungry.
Yeah. And they just stopped. What do you have to lose as a defense? If I'm Chuck Pagano, what do you have to lose? Just go. I mean, you got the talent. You have the talent to dial up certain packages. So what do you just try it? At this point, what do you have to lose? You've been carrying this team for the last 3 years. Okay, so take the chance. Like we don't care. We don't care as fans. Like we just want to see Matthew Stafford threw for 400 yards, bro. And Detroit, they didn't have their top receiver,
right?
Galladay.
And they were missing
Kenny Galladay.
Top running
play.
back too, DeAndre Swift.
And DeAndre Swift, the rookie from Georgia, he didn't play either. Adrian Peterson. If I see him score another touchdown against the Bears, Adrian Peterson is 57
he still
years
haunts
old.
The shit out of us.
And he still haunts us. Like, he scored the game-winning touchdown.
Yep, he had 2 touchdowns
Adrian Peterson.
in this game. Yeah.
At 73 years old. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I've reached the point with this Bear squad that I'm at the same point with this Bear squad that I was with the Bulls. In that, I'm gonna continue to watch the games because we have this podcast and I feel obligated to. But
you
even though it's
all right.
Shaving years away from my life. But in terms of and obviously we can't go to games because of the pandemic. But in terms of the other support, the buying merch or buying tickets, if you can buy tickets, like, just stop. Make these owners very aware. And it's interesting because Sylvie put out a video not too long ago from Waddle and Sylvie, ESPN 1000, probably the best sports talk radio, Chicago sports talk radio that ever existed. I love these guys. But Sylvie put out a video. He tweeted a video saying, it starts at the top. Starts at the top. And he put the pressure on the fans like we did with the Bulls, the Fire Garpax movement, the putting up billboards, all that stuff that we did as fans. It had, some people may not believe it, but it had an impact on the Bulls making a change finally.
Yeah, definitely.
So I saw that video and I was like, yeah, that's completely true. We got to put the pressure on these guys to make a change and to not sugarcoat this, because I for some reason, I just feel like this ownership is going to keep Jed Phillips where he is, maybe keep Ryan Pace where he is, just fire Matt Nagy and try to, as I said a couple weeks ago, put lipstick on a pig. I have a really weird feeling that's going to happen. Because
it's just gotten to a point where that's what it's going to take, bro. That's what's going to take. It starts from, look, we know the McCaskies aren't going anywhere. Because they own the team, of course, so they're not going to sell,
right?
So it's time for Ted Phillips to go. Now, there's a rumor out there that's saying that he's going to retire.
Yeah.
Or at the end of the year, and that's a gift. That's a Christmas gift.
That'd be
for
great
us if that happens. And then Nagy and Pace, it just didn't work. It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. And unfortunately, we're going to be back to square one. In the rebuild, we have to trust the next regime to draft that franchise quarterback that we've been waiting for since the slave days. And
literally talking about
literally,
1930s.
Bro. I'm talking about yeah. And we just been waiting for a very long time. And so we have to trust that next regime. And it's just, here we go again, right? Here we go again. Another Chicago team that has to go through a rebuild. And you just get to a point where it's like, when are we going to get it right? When are we going to get it right, man? And, you know, you hit it with the Bulls, and I know this is bear down, breakdown, but you hit it with the Bulls. Like, as fans, we did have, I believe as fans, we had that influence on Gar and Pax, you know, not being here anymore. And we do have to put the pressure. We have to. Like, our voices need to be heard, for the simple fact that as fans, we are getting tired of the same thing over and over again, year after year. Meanwhile, you got the Packers, who just, and I hate that team. No, I just hate their fans. I don't, because Aaron Rodgers is
phenomenal.
Tremendous. But I just, and you just see them. I mean, it just takes that quarterback, bro. It takes that franchise quarterback. You put a couple of pieces around them, and it just goes. It just goes, man. Just look around the NFL. Look around the NFL. You get that franchise quarterback, and your organization is set for years. At what point, as Bears fans, can we say, like, man, like we want that? When is that going to happen to us?
Don't know. I don't know what it's going to take, because what's even more frustrating is the fact that we had the chance at having that franchise quarterback. We just took the wrong one, and it set us back.
We missed. Yeah.
Completely set us back.
And you said it.
Yeah.
And you called it. You called it, man. You called it. Kudos to you, bro. You was like, man, this is going to set us back another, I think you put 5. You said 5 years? Bro, I'm be dead. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying.
I said.
It's just a loan to 5 years, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I said if we missed on Trubisky, it was going to set us back 5 years, and look at this. We're heading into year 5 since that draft. And it's definitely going to be rebuild. Should be, at least, a complete rebuild. Complete. And I saw a lot of Bears fans on Twitter, you know, in denial of the fact that we're going to have to trade some big names on defense in order to start this rebuild. And it's going to have to happen, guys. Like, I'll put out some numbers there for you guys. Okay, so 6 out of the top 7 players that are paid the most money in terms of average salary per year are defensive players. 6 of them, of the top 7.
Wow.
The one guy that's not on the defense is Allen Robinson, who's going to be gone next year because he's not coming back. There's no way in hell he comes back. So you look at the money that's put into this defense. It's 2020, guys. It's 2020. You don't.
Yeah.
No longer are there days that you take all your chips and you just push it towards the defense and say, all right, guys, carry us to a Super Bowl. Defense wins championships, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
That's prehistoric at this point. No one's doing that. No one's doing that. So yeah, you look at guys that are getting up there in age, and I'm talking about guys like, man, I totally forgot that we signed Robert Quinn to a 5-year deal. Totally forgot. Robert Quinn.
Where has he been?
Who's 30 years old. He'll be 31 next year. 5 years, 14 per. which, by the way, him and Khalil Mack are combined for 7.5 sacks. Leonard Floyd has 7 sacks this year. Just throwing that out there.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that I do not mind seeing gone. Kyle Fuller, as much as this hurts me to say, okay, but next year he has 2 years left on his contract. He's getting paid about $13.5 million per year. He's going to be 29 next year.
Right.
As great of a product as he's been, you know, he was drafted by the Bears. We've seen him develop since his rookie year. It's been a pleasure to watch him play corner, but might have to let him go.
Yeah. If you could get something for him, man,
I'm saying. Akeem Hicks is another one.
Do what's needed.
Akeem Hicks is another one. He's 31. Yeah. He's going to be 32 next year. He's getting paid $12 million per year. His contract is also up in 2 years. That's another guy. It's another name that we might have to say bye-bye to. Because like I said, it's no longer are there days that you put all of your money into the defense. This is an offensive run league. You can't rely on good defense and you know, mediocre to bad offenses anymore. Just can't do it.
Right. So, just kind of reading some of our shout out to our Facebook people that's commenting. They're expressing their frustration as well. So we got Sam. He makes a great point. Sam says, he said, especially to your point, he said, especially since defenses aren't, they're at a bigger disadvantage than ever before in the NFL. So why would you want to invest everything in your defense anyway? Since, you know, I mean, is there a dominant defense in the NFL these days? Not really. Pittsburgh, yeah, but their offense is pretty good. Their offense is pretty good as well. We got, Eddie, he says, get rid of Quinn, get rid of Fuller, get rid of Hicks, just get rid of everybody. Sarah says you will grow a full head of hair before the Bears are ever on top again. Okay. All right.
Wow.
I see where you at. Okay. Yeah. Man, no faith. No faith, because that's never happening. I don't think I could grow a full head of hair again. So we got some Packer fans chiming in. Whatever. You guys could kick rocks. Yeah. But man, like just for the most part, man, a lot of the fans, like all of us, just frustrated. We just frustrated at us just seeing the same thing over and over again, man. And I was sitting here on Sunday and I told myself, I said, you know what, man, I'm gonna be cool. I'm not about to get frustrated over these guys. Like, look, and then it started off great. They was playing well. I said, easy win, 6-6. Here we come. Start sipping the Kool-Aid a little bit because, you look at the rest of the schedule and you like, oh, okay, yeah, we could do this. And then it happened. And I said, how did they lose this game? And then I'm like, why am I shocked? Why am I shocked that they lost this game?
I couldn't help but laugh.
So
I'm at that point.
Yeah,
I'm at that point now. I literally watched Mitchell Trubisky fumble. Was like, I didn't have a reaction. I saw a video of some fan going outside his house. He had like this big old Bears helmet blow up ball thing, and he took his Bears flag because he had a Bears flag in the front of his house. He like snapped it in half, and then he poked a hole in the Bears bubble thing, and he was like all pissed off. I'm past that point. Like that was me probably after the Vikings loss. That was probably me, where I was just completely livid, done. Right before the bye week. But I'm at the point now, like the Packers game, I laughed. This game, I laughed. Like you have to laugh to keep from going insane at this point because you can't be surprised. You can't be surprised. And I know a lot of Bears fans, a lot of Mitchell Trubisky truthers were hoping that man, the amount of hype videos that I saw on Mitch Trubisky during the bye week was frustrating because it's like, well, what do you think? Yes, he sat for what? How many games was it? 5 games, 6 games, something like that.
Yeah.
Why do you think that he's all of a sudden just going to develop into this stud quarterback and try to make all these hype videos and get hyped all over again to see that he's making the same exact mistakes that he made in weeks 1 through 3 earlier this year? Like, why? Why do you do that to yourself? I don't get it.
Well, yeah, I mean, because he's had time. Remember, he had time to just process and just to look at.
He needs like 3 years worth of
grew from
processing.
Yeah, bro, he's not it. He's not it, guys.
I didn't understand that. But yeah, I mean, to most Bears fans' surprise, or to most Bears fans, to what we knew was going to happen is Mitch didn't improve. He did not improve.
Yeah. And one of our Facebook guys, Darnell, who one of our day ones, he, it just kind of goes back to what we all kind of wonder, like, what did they see in Mitch before on draft day? Like, what did they see in him that was so great compared to Watson and Mahomes? And I know we've been doing this for years, right? I get it, but it just makes you wonder, like, what did you all see that we didn't see? Because we're not, we don't claim ourselves as experts, but what did we miss something?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Mean,
so
he was one of the highly, it was him and Watson were the top 2 scouted quarterbacks in that draft. So I get it. But I don't know how. I don't know how Mitch Trubisky was scouted as one of the top quarterbacks in the draft, and why so many scouts like just hyped him up, because 1 year in college couldn't beat out, another UNC starting quarterback that didn't even make the NFL in his first 3 years.
Exactly.
Didn't start till his senior year. Like it was baffling.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway,
and like you said, 5 years setback.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
So, and this Ted Phillips situation is very interesting, because you mentioned already that the David Kaplan rumor that Ted Phillips is gonna retire. And the interesting thing about David Kaplan is, and he's another ESPN 1000 guy, if you don't know who that is, but he's the one who had the sources on the rumor that the Bulls were going to move on from their front office before that offseason. And he was right about that. So I'm tending to believe, David Kaplan's sources. I don't know where his sources are. I don't know who they are. I don't know how he has them, but he seems like a connected guy who knows what's going on whenever he hears something. So I do believe it. Yeah, I do believe that maybe Ted Phillips will retire after this season, and it's smart by him because it saves his job.
Yeah.
Like it completely prevents the McCaskies from getting so frustrated that they fire him during midseason, because if he's going to retire at the end of the season, might as well not fire him, just let him retire. So good by him to save his job in the meantime. But yeah, I mean, we talked about it 2 weeks ago. I gave you guys the stats in terms of how long he's been with this organization. Since 1984, he's been with the Bears, guys. 1984. He's been president since 1999. 21 years he's been team president, and all these know-it-all fans are on Twitter like, oh my god, stop saying Ted Phillips has anything to do with this football team, he's a glorified accountant. I don't believe that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
don't believe that a glorified accountant has absolutely nothing to do with any kind of GM hires or anything. Apparently he was in the room when they hired Ryan Pace. I don't believe that he's just a glorified accountant. And if he is, then why do you have him labeled as a team president? You look around the league at the team presidents; they all know what to do football wise. They have football knowledge.
Exactly, bro.
Neither George McCaskey nor Ted Phillips know anything about football, like in terms of how to, win and succeed. And that's very evident. Like how much have we won since 1999? Not very often. So,
yeah,
I gave the stats a couple weeks ago. I don't remember it's not a lot. So I'm done with he's a glorified accountant, leave Ted Phillips alone. No, like that dude needs to go. Like if you're gonna clean house.
Yeah.
Think about it when you're cleaning your house. You don't just clean the living room and just be like, all right, bathrooms looks like crap.
Well, sometimes
kitchen looks like crap.
Sometimes I do because I get tired. So after the front room, I'm like, that's it. That's everybody's gonna be in the front room. Nobody's going nowhere else.
You gotta go in the back. There's a tree
in the front room
and a bucket.
Yeah, it's an outhouse down the street that you could go to. No, so okay, so let me read something from Tim Hernandez, one of our
what up, Tim?
Our loyal followers. He says this. He says nothing will change with the Bears until the McCaskies have their control of the team taken away. GMs, coaches, none of that matters. George will always and only hire a yes man. What do you think about that?
I don't think he hires yes men because I don't think George knows anything about football. I don't think George is making decisions, football decisions.
Yeah.
I think George is literally just hiring people that he thinks is good for the job. And just, giving him them the keys and saying, all right, go build us a winner. But he doesn't know who the hell he's hiring. He doesn't know who the hell to hire because he doesn't know football, how to run a football operation. Like he just doesn't know.
Yeah.
So.
And then I think it's easy for us to say, well, the McCaskies got to give up their team. They got to sell the Bears. Come on, man. That's their money maker. They're not about to give up this team. That's no. Yeah, no, that's not happening.
I get it. Like I totally agree that if the Bears were to sell, that things could totally flip because you look at the Cubs, the Ricketts bought them. Look what happened there. You look at the Blackhawks. When that team was sold, then we had the dynasty. So I get that. But also, we're just trying to be realistic because we know damn well that McCaskies aren't going to sell. We know damn well that the league won't force them to sell because they're a storied franchise. Right. I mean, Virginia McCaskey is George Halas's granddaughter. So, like, you're talking about one of the founding fathers of the NFL. That's bloodline. Like, it's just not going to happen. So, yeah, we're just trying to be realistic with our takes, and I don't necessarily disagree with that in terms of the Bears needing to sell because I do agree. But it can be done. It can be done with the current Bears ownership. They just have to swallow their pride and get football people in the building. You know what I mean? Let go of these long-term relationships.
Yeah.
And also, like, the whole McCaskies don't fire people in the middle of the season stuff, that bothers the hell out of me. Because in the 101-year history of this team, apparently they have never fired a GM or a coach in mid-season. And it's like, at this point, the way that the McCaskey does things, and the McCaskies do things, and I've tweeted this out a bunch of times, but the way that McCaskies do things, it obviously has not worked out for this Bears franchise.
It hasn't worked. It worked in 85.
In 85, yeah. It worked.
Yeah. It worked in 85.
But,
man.
like, it...
That's what we hang our hats on.
But the way that we've done things has produced no fruit. So... No. Fire these dudes now. If you know damn well that they're not going to be here next year, Fire them now and get started.
Yeah.
Get a head start on this process. Who was there's a team, and I tweeted this out as well. There's a team that has fired their GM. Hold up. It is the Texans. The Texans have hired Tony Dungy, Jimmy Johnson, and a couple of other people as an advisory committee to help them with their GM search. That's smart as hell.
Yeah.
Both of those dudes have won Super Bowls.
That is. Football guys. Yeah, football dudes, man, that actually know what they're doing.
Super unfocused right now. So that's why I look blurry. Man.
It's like this Bears season.
I'm like a freaking microcosm of this damn. Oh, there we go.
I know, right?
But yeah, I mean that's smart as hell. If you know damn well that your GM isn't moving forward, you might as well just get started on the process now, especially when you don't know what the hell you're doing. Especially when you go through GMs like you go through freaking, I don't know, what do you change every couple of years? Your oil change. Like it's ridiculous to this point. Stop these traditions. Stop these man, that's the one thing that just bothers me, that bothers the hell out of me about this Bears team. Like, we're all about traditions. We're all about, we don't do this. Mm-hmm. We build it on the defense, on the ground and pound, on the monsters of the midway. Like,
yeah.
That.
Get off the bus running.
If Monsters of the Midway was a person, I would love to just kick him in the throat. I'm done with that, man.
What is Monsters of the Midway? I'm so stop it.
So done with
that. When you lose year in and year out, it's nothing tough about that, right?
I mean, it was cool back in 1985.
You lose when they won the Super Bowl, right? 85, because that's what we hang our hats on, right?
Yeah,
because
I was in my father's, what.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay.
But I'm done with the mantras.
Yeah, we get it.
I'm so done with the mantras.
Hey, bro, remember when we was 5-1 and we was just Donnell makes a good point. He said top of the division to the bottom of the division in 6 weeks. Crazy. We was 5-1.
No,
and it wasn't a pretty 5-1, but we was 5-1, and we've lost 6 games in a row. Like it's time.
Yeah,
it's time, bro.
Most definitely time to clean house. And I don't understand why they're not doing it now. Because why? I mean, you look at the two, and maybe they're not doing it now because they're seeing some of the other interim head coaches winning throughout the league, because the Lions just beat us after they fired Matt Patricia. So maybe they're doing it to tank and knowing damn well that this regime is incompetent. So let's just keep them on here to improve our draft status. I don't know.
Whatever. The Lions won because they played the Bears. The Lions have the Packers this week, and they about to get blown out by 50. So let's just fire everybody. Just fire them now. Like, you're right, bro. What are we waiting on? What are we waiting on? Because it's not the Bears' way.
It's not the way the McCaskies do things.
Stop.
Because that's worked out so well.
Come on, man.
For us Bears fans.
Except for 85. I'm gonna stop. Let me stop.
I'm sick of.
I don't know.
I'm sick. So sick. I'm just sick and tired. I'm sick and tired is what I am. I saw a question on Twitter, and I wanted to ask you this question because it's a very interesting question. It's very thought-provoking. Who do you think did a better job as the GM? John Paxson or Ryan Pace? I know it's a bear down breakdown. We're not talking about the Bulls right now, but it's a very interesting question that I wanted to get your answer from.
Wow.
And if you're listening, answer this question too in the comments, either through Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
Yeah,
if you're listening,
if you Facebook,
let us know what you think.
Yeah,
we'll read them off.
Definitely.
But what do you think?
That is a very, very good question. I'm gonna have to go with I'm gonna have to go with Paxson.
Really?
I'm gonna have to go with Paxson.
Why is that?
Yeah. Well, dang, I don't know. Because I was about to say because of D Rose,
he got lucky.
Right? But he got lucky. He got lucky with D Rose. He got lucky with D Rose.
And that's the only time in the Paxson era that the Bulls were very formidable.
That they were, yeah. Jesus. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Paxson.
Interesting.
Because we were the Bulls made it to an Eastern Conference Finals, right? We just lost to
correct.
Who did we lose to? We lost to to LeBron, right? Yeah, to the Heat. Oh man, Tim makes a good point. Tim says Paxson practically destroyed the Bulls franchise.
So did Ryan Pace, though.
Is Pace? Is he at that point? Do you think he's at that point where he's destroyed the Bears franchise? Well, if you don't hire a quarterback, if you don't select the right quarterback,
that's the thing. And you look at the two guys; they've both done good things. Like John Paxson had some pretty good first-round draft picks in his time. You look at Jimmy Butler. You look at Joakim Noah. You look at Derrick Rose, obviously Taj Gibson. Mm-hmm. Those Lou Aldang, Kirk Heinrich, like those are really good draft picks. And Ryan Pace has done the opposite. Look at his first round draft picks, and they've been absolutely trash. But Ryan Pace's ability to build the defense, like that's under his resume as well.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Dang, that's a great question. But let me ask you this. How close were the Bulls to winning the championship?
Oh, very close.
We
That's
take
what
LeBron
I'm saying.
out the East.
If you don't have a super team in Miami, I think we win a championship that year.
Agree.
Because Miami went on to play the Dallas Mavericks and lost that series.
Yeah. We would have beat Dallas. Yeah. And I think we would have beat Dallas. Yeah. LeBron had a lot on his mind in just our conversations over the past years. He's just had a lot on his mind. So that really affected that series. We should bring LeBron on the show since y'all are so
you know
connected. What? I called him. He's just getting ready for the season because you see what the NBA did to him, right? Just only 70 days of rest.
They did that to Jimmy Butler
too.
That to the Miami Heat.
One of the gods of basketball. Anyway, man. If you look at the Bears, there's no one, because of the way football is, it's not a team that's like stopping the Bears from being great. You see what I'm saying? Like from going to that next level. Like the Bulls had the Heat, and then whatever team LeBron
Aaron Rodgers has
been
kind of a thorn in our side. Aaron Rodgers has been to us what LeBron has been to the Bulls.
Yeah,
technically.
Yeah, but that's a good point. But we only see. Okay, that's a good point. No, that's a good point because has Aaron Rodgers like prevented the Bears from going? I know the one game that they had.
They had that March that Trestman game. Remember the game to win the division and go to the playoffs? They beat us that game. Yeah, I'm sure the Packers fans are having a glorious time on your chat.
Bro, you should see him. You should see him on the Facebook chat right now. I can't wait till they lose in the playoffs, like every year.
Screw you guys.
That they do. Just waste Aaron Rodgers years. Yeah. Most of them are family, so I can't really call them what I want to call them. So they just bums.
But yeah, I mean, I saw that question on Twitter, and I really had to think about it. I really had, I had to think about
What
it.
did you say?
I don't remember what I thought in my head, but if I had to answer the question in terms of who did a better job, I'd probably say Ryan Pace.
Okay.
Only because he built a really good defense, like a damn good defense. That Khalil Mack trade was that was a great trade.
Great.
And the one thing, oh man, it's weird because Ryan Pace had one really, really, really bad mistake that just kind of envelops him as a GM and makes him a failure. John Paxson had one really, really lucky move that made him look really, really good. So when I look at those two things, they kind of cancel each other out. Because you take Derrick Rose out of John Paxson, what is he? Nothing.
Oh,
you take
nothing.
Exactly.
Try hard Bulls,
and you take
remember?
This defense away from Ryan Pace. What is he? You know what I mean? So it's like,
dang, that's a
I don't
good
know.
point. That's a good point, man.
I don't know.
That's a good point. This is where we're at, huh? This is where we're at. As
talking
Bears
about
fans.
comparing the Bulls and the Bears, because man, they're just so similar. At least hopefully not anymore, because we got Bulls preseason coming up this Friday, and hopefully we get a nice little glimpse of a well-coached Bulls team under Billy Donovan. But anyway, Bears. We're talking Bears. I mean, blow it up, guys. I am so done with this is all I want. Okay, this is all I want as a Bears fan. You know how we have a star-studded defense. You know, the big names: Khalil Mack, Keem Hicks, Eddie Jackson, Kyle Fuller, whatever. Flip that to the offensive side. I want a star-studded offense, or not offensive line. Flip to the offense. I want a star-studded offense. Okay, and we can you can talk about trades, you can talk about draft, you can talk about free agency, whatever. Put your investment into this offense, and then give me a defense that's well coached and is really good at the fundamentals. That's it. That's all I want.
Yep.
Is that too much to ask? George McCaskey and Virginia McCaskey.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all I want. A star-studded offense with a well-coached, good at fundamentals defense. We don't need a defense that gets 3 sacks per game. We don't need a defense that gets 17 turnovers in a year. We don't need a defense that scores a bunch of touchdowns. Just give me a defense that plays solid and an offense that can put up points.
And to your point, and like Sam said, earlier, is just the way the NFL is set up now. Like, it's 2020. Like, you can't depend on that defensively anymore. And you said it. You said it
right
man,
after that 2018
3 years
season
ago
ended.
when the defense was, like, man, and you know me, I was like, whatever, I'm gonna keep drinking the Kool-Aid because the Kool-Aid real good. Forget what you say, Eli. We going to the Super Bowl. We only a kick away. Let's go. He was like, nah, B. So calm and cool. Nah, B. That ain't happening, bro. We don't have it. I don't know what you're talking about. Give me your cup of Kool-Aid. You don't deserve it.
Give me that Kool-Aid.
Give me that cup of Kool-Aid. But nah, you called it, bro. You called it, man. It's and here we are, bro. Going through the same.
It's just not sustainable. It's not sustainable.
Thing,
and Bears fans should not be happy until all this stuff happens. Bears fans should not be hyped, should not be making hype videos, should not be going on Twitter and getting other fans excited until we clean house and we have all of our investments on the offensive side of the ball and go from there.
Mm-hmm.
And next year is going to suck, guys. Next year, if we do what I think that we should do and what I hope that we should do, next year is going to be rough. Next year is going to be another John Fox type season where we're going to suck.
Yeah.
But I mean, just gather as much draft capital as you can. Stop trading up. Exactly. Unless it's for a quarterback in the first round next year, then I'm cool with it. But other than that, stop trading up in the draft. Stop trading up in the second round, third round, fourth round for these Anthony Millers and whatever. Yeah.
You have enough of those. You have enough of those on your team. So let's just.
I'm done with those things. Get as much draft capital as you can. That's another reason why Ryan Pace doesn't need to be here, because how can you trust this man to get as much draft capital as possible when all he does is give it away? Like, all he has done is give draft picks away since he's been here. And you need as much of it now as you've ever needed it. So yeah. I'm done.
Do they play?
Here's the thing.
They play. They play the Texans.
Here's the thing about our upcoming schedule, because it's lining up to be a very anti-Bears fest. Okay, because we got a very pissed off Deshaun Watson coming into town, who had a very bad loss against the Colts. A couple of days ago, and of course the Bears. What did we do? Passed on him in the draft. Can already see him putting up the number 12 because that's where he was drafted, or whatever it was. He's going to come in pissed off. And then we got Mike Glennon the week after, guys.
Yeah.
The Jacksonville Jaguars, and barring any kind of quarterback change or injury, we're going to see Mike Glennon versus Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be great.
And
Mike Glennon, the big what if.
The big what if.
Glennon versus Trubisky, the what if game.
If there's any player that could come in and have the most like typical Bears revenge game, it's Mike Glennon.
Glennon throwing for 5. He's throwing for 5 touchdowns.
Three and a half stacks and 5 touchdowns. I can see it.
Yeah. Let's go.
We need to get into sports betting. That's something that we got to start doing on the show, because not only are we struggling because it's a pandemic, but it would be nice to get into sports betting and understand that process, because I don't. But anyway,
make some money. Yeah.
I got
$7, so let's go.
I got like 8, so I'm down. Put them together. That's
okay. So that's about $15.
I think that's enough.
Yeah, 15 on Glennon throwing for 5 touchdowns.
That's probably like a plus 100. We getting 1,500 if he does that.
Hey man, I know.
But anyway, Alex.
Oh man. So we got the Texans. We got
Texans, Jacksonville. Yeah.
And I think Minnesota's still in there, right?
And then the Packers. It's going to be fun 4 games. I hope we lose all of them.
Me too. One more stat on Glennon, and Sam brought this up. Remember we gave him $18 million for 1 year? Okay. Yeah.
And who signed him as a free agent?
The same guy that still running the team,
Ryan Pace.
Yeah, that regime, they signed Glennon to $18 million.
Beautiful.
He's set for life.
Oh yeah,
because of the Bears.
You can retire with that. I don't know why he's still playing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope the Bears lose the rest of their games, even though a couple of weeks ago, Bruce, you were against the Bears losing out. But it looks like your stance since then has changed. Looks like you're on my side of the court yet again.
Yeah. It usually happens that way. It usually happens that way, right? My goal is to prove you wrong, and it never happens. So I just kind of creep
slowly
and wave to you. Hey, yeah, hey, can I come?
No, you give me that GIF look of the kid with the cup, and he's like,
right.
That's how that. Hoping that I don't see you. Yeah. Anyway,
right.
Guys, it's going to be a long winter. It's going to be hopefully after that Packers game. Yeah. Hopefully it's a very, very black Monday. And I'm talking about I'm talking about jet black. I'm talking about I'm talking about it looks almost purple black.
Like slave black. So racist. Purple black. I said slave black. You said purple black. That's where we're at
man.
Today. Okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a very, very black Monday.
It needs to be
black. Yeah,
Black Panther.
T'Challa. Black Monday. T'Challa Monday. Yeah, I'm hoping we're at that point after that game because that's all we got. That's all we can hope for. Anyway, if you're listening and viewing live, we appreciate you. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you guys.
We love you. Appreciate you. And make sure y'all tune in next week. I don't know if we're going to have a Bear Down Breakdown or if we're going to have a regular episode. I'm in the process of moving, so bear with us as we may have a couple breaks within the coming weeks. But yeah, make sure y'all subscribe so that when we do drop a video, if it is a little bit of a break, you at least know when it's dropping. And yeah, thank you guys. Right. And as always, talk to y'all next week.
Peace.
Still hasn't stopped.